If you aren't a fan of the double distribute, then the box method might be something that you want to try. I will give you a little hint later when we get into 7.3 and 7.4 and 7.5, especially 7.5, when we start factoring and going backwards, meaning, again, I'm giving you this. If you use the box method and you get comfortable and familiar with it, 7.5 can either be the easiest lesson or the hardest. And if you're comfortable with the box method, it's going to help you. So let's take a look at this box right here. So it is a 2 by 2, right? I have a binomial and a binomial. If you look at this one down here, I'm multiplying a binomial times a trinomial. So the box I need is a 2 by 3. So let me show you how the box method works. It's actually really easy. It's very similar. So I'm going to take one of the binomials, doesn't matter which one, and fill in the columns at the top. I didn't put the plus sign in the middle of the 2 because it belongs with the 11. It's telling you the 11 is positive. I'm going to put the x and then the -3 on the other side. Now, how many of you have ever played Battleship? How does Battleship work? You put your boat somewhere and then you guess is a letter and a number. My guess is A3. And then you take A and you take 3 and you follow it and you see if there's a ship there, hit or miss, right? This works the same way, okay? Except I'm going to take this spot times this spot and I'm going to follow them and put the product in that box. And so what's the product of x and x? Do it again. What's the product of x and -3? Do it again for this box. What's the product of 11 and x? And what's the product of 11 and -3? Okay, now stop for a second. When we do this, I didn't do this problem, but these problems, do you kind of see this just in a box anyway? Do you see your x squared term? These are your like terms, and this is your constant. Just like I had my x squared term first, then my constant last, first, last, and then the 2 in the middle were the ones that I needed to combine. So these are my, guys, stay with me. These are my like terms. Let's put that into a final answer. In the first spot, I have my first term. These two get combined, and they work out to be my middle term. And then my last spot in the box goes to my last number. It literally is almost the same way, just organizing it in a different manner. Instead of all in one big row, you kind of have boxes with special spots, right? Let's do this one. Okay? So last time I put this first one on top. I can put that over here. I can put 2a minus 8 here. I can put a plus 3 here because the multiplication is commutative. You're still going to get the same answer. Your box just might look a little different. Okay? So this spot, what's 2a times a? 2a squared. What's a times -8? What's 3 times 2a? Okay? So you look for your like terms, and if it's set up correctly, it's going to be your top right and your bottom left. Your first term is going to be the only a squared term. These two will combine. And then your last box is going to be your last term. Okay? Not too bad, is it? Let's take a look at this one right here. Go ahead and start from scratch on this one. Set this one up. Hey, does this look like a problem we may have done? 2r plus 9, 2r minus 9. Go ahead and set that up. Are you noticing what's going to happen with those middle terms?
Yeah, they just like
They cancel out because you're going to have a negative 18R and a positive 18R. So think about how you write your answer. So your final answer is just going to be your first term first. Do you need Kleenex drink? And then your middle term cancels, so I don't write anything. It's just not there. And then my last term is there. Do you notice that 4 and 81 are numbers like 36 and 25 and 49 and 64? Those are called the square numbers. You're going to start to see a pattern with those, okay? The last thing I'm going to show you is this one. I want you to think about, what does that mean? What does anything squared mean? Times itself. So what do I fill in my spots? I use that twice. All that 10x plus 6 squared is, it means 10x plus 6 times another 10x plus 6. So that's kind of there, not to confuse you, but x plus 6. So we saw what happens when they are almost identical, but with the signs different. What do you think happens when they are identical? Everything is identical. 10x plus 6, 10x plus 6. Let's just look and see if we can figure that out. 10x times 10x. They don't cancel this time. They what? They double. So instead of canceling each other out, if the signs were different, when the signs are the same, they actually double. Are those two numbers on the ends, those magic square numbers? Is 100 one of those square numbers? Yep. This time they don't cancel. I got 2 of them. And then there's that square number. 81, 4, 9, 50, or not 49, right? Okay. So that is box method. Box method versus double distribute. I don't care which one you choose that you like better. Whichever one worked for you. Remember I said this, if you're at least a little familiar with it, will help you out later when we get to 7.3 and 7.4 and 7.5. I'm going to give you some practice problems. I'm also going to give you some blank boxes for those of you who choose to, solve a few with the box method. And that is multiple.